All right, so on our toolbox, last time we were in class, excuse me, last time we were in class, we ripped two pieces down. And the first piece that we ripped down, we had ripped to 9 inches. And what was that piece for? You guys remember? It was for the bottom. And the other board that we had, we ripped them down to, do you remember what this width was? 4.5. It was 4.5. So we had two 4.5-inch pieces, and these are going to be the sides of our toolbox. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to route our top outside edge, all right, on these pieces. So one edge is going to get routed, and what we need to do is we need to decide which side we want to be our top outside edge. And there's a few things that we need to look at, all right? What do you think one thing is that we'd want to look at when it comes to routing? What's something that you might look for in your board?
Better side.
Okay, a better side. What would make a side not better?
There's like a notch in it like
Okay, yeah, like a knot. Like this board right here has a knot right here. And what could happen if we routed through a knot? What do you think? Say it again? Say it one more time. Okay, he said it's all out of place. Very, very, very close. The knot can wind up becoming loose, all right, and it might fall out. Now, some people might say, "Man, that's pretty cool. I'd like to have a little bit of a real rustic look to my project." But what we're going to say is, listen, the knot's a really hard piece. We're going to try to not route through it. Okay, we're going to pick our nice, clean, pretty side, and we're going to try to route that. But there is something else that we need to look for, all right, and that's going to be the cup of these boards. And the cup is when we look along this outside edge right here. So what we're doing is we're taking our eye and we're going to look right down this edge right here. Now, if I take a look at this board right here, I can tell that this side right here, it's cupped this way. So if I take a look at this, guys, I'm going to bring it out of view here. If I take a look at this, it's cupped on my outside edge. My hump is over here, my valley is over here. If we were to take a ruler and put the ruler like this, do you guys see how there's a gap in the middle? And if I was over here, it's going to teeter-totter. See that? So this is my humped side right here. This is my outside right here. The hump, the hill, is my outside. I'm just going to put a little O there for outside. And then how are we going to pick the top side?
There's a knot.
Okay. So the knot we were going to put on our top or bottom side? Bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that this up here is my top side. This is my pretty side. So I'm going to put an X up here, and I'm going to put an X right here. And what that means is that my X is going to go down, and my X is going to go in, and I'm going to route this particular corner here out. So, Matt, since this is your project over here, why don't you take a look at this board here. You tell me which way you think the cup is going. This is nice and easy to see.
What?
Which way is the hump?
What?
Point to which side you think it is. Correct. So this is your outside. And on this particular board, it really doesn't matter because it's a very clean board, right? No knots whatsoever. So could we just go like this? Okay. Now, let's go over how to set the router up. I'm going to let you hold this one here, please. So we know that our X, I marked my top and my outside with an X. I know that my top and outside want to be down like this, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this fence up so that this fence is right on the outside of this bearing. Do you guys remember what the bearing's for? What is the bearing for on the router bit? Is that what guides along the wood? All right, we are going to guide our wood along our bearing. If we were holding a router, we would guide our router bearing along our wood. So let's go ahead and we're going to set this bad boy here up. I'm going to loosen the back up, and we're going to bring it right in. And we're going to get it pretty close. Now I'm going to look at the reveal, the lines right here on this, and I'm going to get this thing pretty darn close to where I think it needs to be. Snug that up a little bit. Snug this up. If I was to take my board, 1, just barely touching that. I'm going to double check my measurement for my fence. We'll go to this one right here. It's 10 3/8 for the inside. And this one over here is 10 3/8. So we are right on our money. I'm going to snug this up. And we want our X to be down and we want our X to be in. Now, where is the spot here that could possibly injure us? Who knows? Running our hand through this spot right here? Absolutely. And it's covered up most of the time, but where do you think we'd wind up catching it at? Look where my finger is back here. Boom. Oh boy, nothing left. This particular router down here, who's got a cell phone on him with a calculator? Anybody got one on him? I'm videoing with mine, so I don't. So this particular router down here, I believe spins at 23,000 RPM. So Ben, let's do 23,000 divided by, how many seconds are in a minute? 60. What does that equal? 383. So that means that 383 times a second, this razor sharp edge spins across the same spot. 383 times a second, this part here spins around. So if our finger was there for a split second, it's probably going to hit us at least a couple dozen times. All right. Router injuries can be very, very, very gruesome. All right. What we are going to do is we're going to keep our head in the game. We're going to think about what we are doing. Okay. When we run this through, we will hold it like this. I'm pressing down firmly. All right. And I will start feeding it through in this direction. At the very end, I will make sure that my fingers are out of the way. I am using my finger to help push it through, but I will just very carefully push it through. Okay. Why do you think I need to feed in this direction? Because it's spinning this way, right? So it's spinning this way, so it wants to throw the wood this way. If I was to come in like this, you know what's going to happen? It's going to go, and it's going to rip right out of my hands. So I'm forcing it against the direction right here. So let's go over how this works. We're going to put our safety glasses on. We're going to confirm that our X is down and X is in. We're going to turn this on. And we're going to take a look at our top outside edge. Now we've got a nice little route on it right here. I'm going to see if we can go a little bit deeper. I'm going to double check the router height right here. That's about all we can go. It's a little 3/8 inch round over. Now, if I didn't get it, if I didn't hold it down tight enough, could I run it through again? I sure can. Remember, when I run this through, see how my fingers are right here? My fingers are pushing it down because look, it does want to teeter-totter a little bit on me. So my fingers are holding it down tight this way, I'm holding it down in this way, and I go through. Now, this one teeter-tottered a smidge on me when I went through. It is okay, all right? If it's a little bit challenging for me when I'm doing this, it's going to be a little bit challenging for you guys. What we don't want to do is we don't want to stop, all right? And we don't want to go too fast, all right? Do you understand that? Matt, would you like to demonstrate on yours real quick while we're here? All right, so let's see. Where are your X's? Let's take a look. So do you think we always mark stuff before we come over here? And do you think I'm going to be helping you guys with this step since this is our first time using it? Absolutely. So Matt, where do you got next, buddy? Okay, so X goes where? All right, so one X goes against it, and where's the other X go? Nope. Where's the X go? Yep, X goes down and X goes in. So down and in. All right, so we have one X facing this way, and we have one X that needs to go down. Just like so. All right. So put your hands over here. Other hand over here. All right. same thing like I did. We moved it a smidge when he did it. So let's take a look. Can you see where he actually moved it off? Yeah, it's got like a little bump right there, right? So Matt, is it okay to run it through again? Sure, go ahead and set it back up. Now we're just actually gonna do the whole thing over again because it's okay to do it. So let's remove it out of the blade. Feel pretty good? Nice smooth the whole way down through, no bumps? Alright, Matt, was that actually pretty easy to do? I believe the router bit that I put in, I think it was brand new. I used it last period for another group of project when we only ran 2 boards through. So since we're using this nice soft white pine and it is a brand new router bit, I'm feeling pretty positive it's going to be easy for you guys. Now we are going to cut out of the video here in a minute. Does anybody in here have any special questions with this? How did we mark our outside of our board? What did we look for? Okay, and what part of the cup? The hump or the valley? The hump. And the hump is the outside, yep. And how did we choose the top of our board?
Nods on the other side.
Yes, the prettiest side will be top. All right, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna run all these through.